everybody, and welcome to the Fiyah Session Podcast. I'm your girl, Daisy J, here with my boy, Big Kid, and our two new special Fiyah friends. We got my girl, Sharonda, in the building, and my guy all the way in Cali, Mr. Benji Banks. What's up, y'all?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Glad to be on.
Good. I'm good. So, Sharonda, how was your week, dear?
Hey, it's been a great week. Yesterday was my last day of the school year.
Woo-woo.
So I'm going to try not to have a hot girl summer in my last year of my 30s.
What?
Seriously, it's been a very, very trying year. So I do plan to get some rest, travel a little bit. So yeah, it's good. It's good. I'm excited. Yeah.
Awesome.
And she threw that disclaimer talking about she trying not to have a
not to. I mean, I already started. I peeped it.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Banks, what's up with it? How was
I'm
your
doing
week?
all right. How's everybody? What's good?
Everything is good. So how was your week? It was good, bad, ugly?
It was great. Like if I have no complaints, man. And when your bosses are out all week.
Oh, that's the best
time. It's like
the best.
No pressures, no nothing. You just get it done. Oh, it's a blessing. No drama, no confusion, no nothing. I enjoy it.
That's what's up. Big Ken, how was your week, sir?
Busy as usual, but I can't complain because when I'm busy, that means that time flying by. That means the weekend is already here. Thank God for Friday.
Thanks. Well, I can't say that I had a good week.
Wow.
My week was horrible at work, but this was my first week as a cheer coach, and it was dope. Shout out to my team, the NDU Bobcats. That's the North Dallas United Bobcats. Hey, y'all. We had a good first week of cheer practice. So, yes, my summer, I'm having a hot girl summer, though, but we're going to talk about that another day.
Later on.
I'm definitely having a hot girl summer, along with all these other things. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very good topic for you, and it is called, Is It Love or a Trauma Bond? Please know the difference, and we already know Ken got that list. So what's up, Big Ken?
Yeah, this is a heavy topic, y'all.
Yes.
Like, I mean, when we talked about the topic, like I knew, kind of on the surface level what this really was about. But of course, when you do research, you see things, you read things, you find out things. And man, these trauma bonds are real and they are deep. And the reasons for them, oh man, now I can understand why when people get caught up in them, that's why it's hard to get out. So tonight we just want to give you some information, a little bit of knowledge that we have on the subjects, and give y'all some clues and some things to look for to let you know whether you're in a trauma bond, whether you involved in some things that might be trauma bond-ish, so you can get away from it before it gets too deep. And I mean, hey, maybe even help some people that are in trauma bonds find a way out. So I think we need to start with, first of all, what is a trauma bond? And a trauma bond is defined as a deep emotional attachment that develops in a relationship or friendship characterized by abuse that's emotional, physical, or both.
Wow. Okay.
So in the simplest terms, loyalty to somebody that's destructive or toxic. Now we always talk about toxic relationships.
Yes.
And that's been a big thing. Maybe the past 5 years, you hear that all over the place, toxic relationships. But most of these people are in them.
Right.
True.
And whether it's something that developed from their past, from maybe that they watched their parents have toxic relationships, and in their mind is normalized, or maybe they have low self-esteem. It's a bunch of issues where people can get caught up in these things, but we're going to break those things down. And let me say this before we even go deep into it too. Anyone, including strong people, can be caught up in a trauma bond.
Yes.
So don't get it twisted because you're a strong individual, you got your stuff together. You too can be caught up in the trauma bond. And some of y'all are caught up in the trauma bond and don't even know it.
Right.
So, this is one of the memes that I found, or the little quotes. And this is powerful. It says don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a lot of time making it.
Right.
And a lot of times, that's big part of trauma bond, because we spend so much time with people, we spend so much time in relationships. We feel like that investment is so deep that we don't want to leave it because we spent all this time, or we bought a house together, we bought a car together, and we even might have kids together. But at the end of the day, I mean, what kind of environment is that, for you, for your kids, and for the people around you?
Right.
So
makes a world of difference.
Yeah. So I guess we can just start with, if anybody on our panel wants to talk about, an example in their own lives that they realized through the research of trauma bond. If y'all want to talk about them, that's cool, because I'm definitely going to talk about mine.
Well, man, those of you who don't know, let me just kind of do this by way of introduction, I guess. I grew up in Texas.
Oh.
And let's just say the bonds that were back then were very, very, very detrimental. I mean, you talk about life and death around every corner. And the only reason why I'm in Cali right now is because my brother actually forced me to leave a life of, just terrible things going on, drugs, death, mom dying, baby brother dying, all of those types of things. And so I literally was attached to Texas. That's all I knew. That's where I grew up. Most of my friends, even on Facebook now, are from back home. You know what I mean? So, and being in that and having someone fortunate enough to actually look over me and look out for me and say, nah, man, you got to get out of here, is the only reason why I'm actually alive today. So that's like, I understand it. It can grip you. A bond can grip you. You feel such an attachment to it that you feel like there's nothing else that you can actually do or you're worthwhile doing. And if you don't break out of that mode, I mean, man, it'll overcome you. And in my case, I mean, I'm on the opposite side of living now, but man, I've seen a lot of partners, man, just killed and gone because they couldn't let it go, couldn't let the lifestyle go. And that to me is probably the saddest part, because everybody isn't given a chance to get out, I don't think. So I'm very fortunate for that. So
yeah.
I think that's what people don't realize too. When they think trauma bond, they think relationship. If friendship, it can be with a family member too.
Yeah.
yeah, agree.
That's the whole part. When I was doing my little research, they had even examples of parents that parent and kid that have a trauma bond that that are they're linked because their parent kid relationship, but they experience some trauma together. So that's also something that bonds them, but it changes the dynamics traditionally. And a lot of times you don't see that until later on in life.
Right.
Sharonda, how about you?
Well, without putting anybody on blast, because I don't know who's watching.
Oh, you ain't got to name names.
I ain't gonna name
names.
No. I'm not gonna name any.
Shoot it.
I'm not gonna name any names, but what I will say, kind of going back to what Ken was talking about with the quote that he put up, basically about spending time more than you should. Just because you make a mistake doesn't mean that you have to continue. And I think a lot of that is rooted in what we saw growing up. A lot of what I reference today has to do with things that were taught to us or things that were based in childhood trauma or things that we saw generationally. Okay. Yeah. So some of us, going back to the quote, some of us stayed in relationships because that's what we saw growing up. We saw that people hung in there regardless of what was going on. As long as the bills were paid, as long as I'm being taken care of, you can do what you want to do. He might be dating Sue down the street, but as long as he come home and take care of my household, we're good. So I think subconsciously we've taken that and we say we got to stick in here because we want to. I was talking to my friend the other day and we were just talking about how people are looking to be healed. And so from others. And so we stay in
Yep.
these relationships with the intent of that person healing us or making us feel better. And before we know it, we're years in and we're not even happy. And it's amazing to me. And I'm guilty of that, of staying in relationships with folks I ain't even married with the intent of it getting better. So just because you stay in something or you quote unquote made a mistake, and I shouldn't say it's a mistake because everything is a learning experience, but sometimes you have to learn how to walk away and be okay with, you know, walking away from a situation. So I'll just leave it at that. So, you know, just because you're in that thing for a long time, and I think sometimes a lot of us get caught up and we don't think we can do better. Yeah. And it goes back to self-worth, because if you're in a trauma bond and that person is an abuser, whether it be physically or mentally or emotionally, and they tell me, man, don't nobody else want you. You're not going to get it better than me. And so that's ingrained, whether you know it or not. And so you hang in there, before you know it, you're in 5 years with somebody telling you that they the only one for you. And you start to believe that. And you really believe they are the only ones. And so when you finally break up, then somebody else come around the corner like, oh, it's somebody waiting in the wing for me. You know what I mean? So a lot of it has to do with self-worth and just being able to walk away. But I ain't gonna tell y'all know I can do this all day. So go ahead.
No, enjoy that. That's dope.
What you're saying is 100% correct. And people don't understand how hard it is to walk away, though. You know, and we'll talk about that, because it's one of those things where people say, girl, you should just leave him. You don't know what I'm telling you, a lot of situations where girl or homeboy, you know, you mostly women talking to their friends, because guys, you got to get better at this too. Talking to your homeboys about your issues, not just about who you banging, but what actually issues you have. Cause still got to sharpen, still has to sharpen steel. Like y'all shooting the breeze, but are y'all really having a real conversation? And that's what you need to be doing with your partners as you grow older, because all the jokes and stuff that y'all got to help each other out at the end of the day.
Mature conversations, the grown man conversation,
grown man conversation. Right. Because these women are having those conversations, and that's why they're so much more keen on certain things, especially dealing with relationships, because they have those conversations and they hear the different you know, viewpoints from their friends, negative or positive. They hear them. So
men don't like vulnerability, so we like
good. Like good job, BG.
We're like you love bonds, trauma, like and we don't like to have those discussions. But if you got a dope female friend that you can actually talk to, bro, I'm telling you, it's dope. Sometimes you can get some of the best advice in the world from one of your sound-minded female friends, and man, that it goes a long way. So, but sometimes we just don't like to have those conversations, especially not with another partner. It's like, I ain't talking about that. We're gonna talk about something other than that, you know. But hey, you know, it happens.
When you have that conversation with your homeboys, it's, you know, it for a man, it kind of makes you feel like you telling him something and make you feel like seem soft.
Right, exactly.
Seem soft, but like you said, that vulnerability. But I mean, hey, if they're your real friends, then you know you should be able to do that. But all right, Daisy.
Y'all want a story?
Oh, we know you got them. Let's hear it.
Spit it. Don't come on it. Spit it.
I'm not gonna lie. My marriage was a trauma. So, like, just a backstory. I was already pregnant when I got married by somebody else. My husband was an ex from my past. Like, I dated him in high school. He was actually my first boyfriend. So he was military. And my daughter's dad at the time, he left me when we found out I was pregnant. There was a lot of drama and all that. So I was out here in these streets, pregnant, minding my business, and then my ex comes along, and it was like I needed him, but I wasn't saying I needed him, and vice versa. He needed me, but I wasn't saying I need that. You know, he wasn't saying it to me either. But it was a trauma bond because one, he was military, suffering from PTSD, and so like it's like he needed something to make him feel better. So, or he needed a project, and I was his project. I was pregnant. I was instant family. He was like, "Oh yeah, I can be a dad, and I'll give her my last name, and we can get married." And so we got married. Our little love story was cute, when you telling it. But years after our divorce and me going to counseling and bettering myself, I'm like, that was a trauma bond because
yeah, right.
He could never come back. One, two.
Well, damn.
Well, yeah, he could never come back. And I do have like a handful of exes that you could come back, but he could no. And he put me in a deadly kind of situation too, because I don't know if I told y'all, like he was talking about committing suicide and all this stuff, like leading up to our separation. And it took my mom coming to get me from Killeen and moving me to Georgia for me to be like, this is not a good situation. Because I was like, no, I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna be with my husband. Like I got married, and marriage means something to me. And now I'm like, I wish I never did that. He was like my first husband. Like I wanted that first situation to be with somebody of value. But yeah, I can honestly say that my marriage was a trauma bond because one, he served a purpose, you know what I'm saying? But it was like he knew that I needed somebody. Like he just knew, and vice versa. He made me feel like he needed me. In reality, we did not need each other. That was a very toxic situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's deep.
And that's kind of how it works. And she kind of put in the parts when I was studying and reading. So the guy that came up with the concept of it, Dr. Carnes, like it's so deep, like it was just so good. And he was talking about how some people who start this have a narcissistic attitude. You know what I mean? And so they, pounce on your trauma. Yep. So basically you were pregnant.
Secrets of war, huh?
Right. Yep. You're pregnant with somebody else's child, and that's over. And so now you're like, what do I do? So it's almost like, let me pounce on that. Let me manipulate the trauma to my good. And I'm going to tell you how this trauma bond works. So you probably, like you said, you thought you had a love story going, where in actuality, it was an act of a manipulation. It was an act of manipulation, and because it was different than what you had. And so the way the trauma works is I'm going to do a little abuse, but I'm going to give her something to offset the abuse.
I had no access to bank accounts. Yeah, I'm not going to give her access to the bank accounts.
Wow.
I take care of you. Like, you have to come to me for everything. Yeah.
But did you have, so with that being said, was there a gift that followed that? Okay, I can't have access to the bank.
Right.
I'm gonna take you to Dallas, and right. I'm gonna let you drive the truck, a couple of days a week to make you feel like you're contributing. Oh, you're the best cook, babe. It was always can you make my favorite food? And because I was a homemaker. First of all, I'm at home,
right,
with no job. That's not Daisy J normal. Daisy J always got a job. I didn't have a job. And I was away from family because we lived in Killeen, my mom in Oklahoma, my sister in Georgia. So I'm not around people that can see my day-to-day moves and be like, hey, I don't think that. And then when my family came around, I was super defensive, like towards them about him, because they would say stuff and I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. He's a good father. And and it's like, this is not normal. So,
me and Ken were kind of talking about this kind of off camera, and we were talking about this, reading a couple of books, Secrets of War and tactics that people can use against you. And people can use your trauma against you. Coming from the world I come from, people can actually take your issues, take your pain, make you feel like you're worthless because of it. But then also try to validate themselves in your eyes to make themselves seem bigger than they are. And then that actually works in a lot of cases. And if you aren't privy to the tactic, you'll accept it as the norm. And then this is where you get the victimization and all of those things from, because it's just, I've made you feel like the victim, of course, but I think if you don't recognize it and see it, man, It'll keep you there. It'll hold you there, and you'll feel guilty for leaving.
Yep.
You know how many days I sat in here in California, living nice and thinking back home, like, man, like, but my brother, but my cousin, but my this, but my that. And that can grip you and make you feel like you shouldn't even have the opportunity to get out of something. So
Right.
I'm fortunate. I'm actually glad you got out of that. That sounds.
Me too. Didn't even make it to a year. Bye.
Wow.
Got married in 2012. Got divorced in 2013.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Get out of that. That was quick.
As I always say, well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's a good segue to show my little graphic that I wanted to show. It's just talking about some differences between trauma bond and real love. And we'll talk about that for a minute. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think a lot of people sit back and look at it because it's so similar. So some of the stuff that's that you see on the chart, I'm pretty sure that you got people out there who confuse the two.
Yeah.
Right. So, in a trauma bond, I need you, I'm addicted to you. When we hear those type of things, we tend to say that's a good thing. If a woman tells you I'm addicted to you, you like, yeah, I've been smashing. Like I'm putting it down. She addicted to me, but
in line between love and hate.
Yeah, yeah. The highs and lows, nervous system activation, emotionally phobic, but highly sexual. That's another issue. Because people tend to be in these toxic relationships because they getting great sex.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I know everybody quiet on that one, but they don't want to say nothing.
No. And
let the church say amen.
I'm like, whatever.
I'll say something about it. And here's the thing. A lot of us, are people in these bonds because of the sex. Because of it was new, it was good, and it was better than the previous person. Mm-hmm. So who said that was the baseline of what was good? You know what I mean? And so you get caught up in the 20, 30, 40 minutes, 50 hour, whatever. You get caught up in
well,
or maybe then you get caught up in that. And so you get caught up. There are so many hormones that go along with it. You get caught up and you can't make clear decisions. So I understand, why, growing up, why it was so ingrained in us. Like, y'all are not ready for what goes along with sex. Mm-hmm. Right. You're not ready. You're not mentally ready for what goes along with sex. Sex will cloud your judgment quickly.
Yeah.
Quickly, and so that's how that bond, a part of that trauma bond, he puts it down. But yeah, you're being abused mentally and emotionally.
Well, something good always pacifies you.
Right.
Even a gift will pacify you. If I'm constantly gracing you with things that you like, I mean. I'm not going to bring you a stone if you ask for some bread. If I'm bringing you the bread that you need, whatever feels, and that's a tactic of the enemy. He doesn't attack you when you are your strongest. He attacks you when you're weakest moment. So wherever you're weak at, that's where he's going to attack you at. So like that's 101. If you're emotionally tied to women or whatever it is, guess what? You're the guys that's trying to conquer, you're going to come in and do. He's going to try to take over that area and get you in. So I can relate to that for sure.
Yeah. I would say that's why I check my feelings at the door.
Hey, or don't have them at all.
I mean,
not everybody can do that. Not everybody
everybody can't do that.
It's my superpower.
Yeah, definitely.
It works sometimes. I can't lie.
Now, Daisy, is that a superpower or defense mechanism?
It's a superpower because I can say I've been vulnerable with certain people that made me feel good or whatever. But I know for a fact, like now, like, you go to therapy and you get your tools, and I'm still going to be Daisy at the end of the day. But I know that in certain situations, I've been very like, okay, thank you. That was all I needed, to get me through these next month or two or whatever.
Right.
But no, I've been vulnerable with people and been like, dang, it's good, but he's stupid,
Which one?
I don't think I want to do this. He's so stupid, but dang, like it's like a post that I made this week. He got me stuck between he got me effed up and I love him. So it's like,
I mean, that's in a mix of emotions, right? That'll make you stay.
Yeah.
And that's the epitome of a trauma bond, though.
There you go.
Right.
That's the epitome of a trauma bond.
Yep.
Yeah. But okay, so next up, I just want to go through. They have 7 stages of a trauma bond, and it's courtesy of mighty.com. And these are some of the same exact things we've already been talking about. 7 stages. Mm-hmm. Stage number 1, love bombing, as they say. They shower you with love, flattery, appreciation in order to gain your affection.
That's Maconomics.
I mean, telling you what you want to hear, telling you the good stuff, doing all this amazing stuff for you. But as Benji said, in the 48 laws of power, they breaking down your defenses. You know what I'm saying? Get you to lower your defenses. Then the next level is trust and dependency.
Ooh,
they try to do everything to win your trust, make you depend on them heavily for love and validation. So that's that second level. So you've added the good stuff on top of now you trust and then you depending on them.
Right.
Yep.
So that third level is when they start hitting you with a little criticism. You know what I'm saying? You don't look too good today. I don't like them shoes you got on. I don't like your hair.
As soon as you drop this baby, we hitting the gym.
Or
hitting you with little criticisms, and you like, make you kind of cringe a little bit. But you know what? A lot of times what starts happening with that criticism is you start blaming yourself.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's where you get it. So I can get you to blame yourself. Yeah.
And even if it's not even true, just because of the way they see it, you start blaming yourself anyway, which creates that problem.
Yeah.
The beginning of it, right? And it starts to snowball. The next level is called gaslighting. When things go wrong, everything's your fault. They point out everything is your fault. So now it's starting to snowball. Okay. Now, the fifth level is resigning to control.
Yep.
They ain't giving you no control. They taking control of everything. You don't even know what to believe anymore because everything you believe is what they believe or what they tell you.
Right.
Yep. My husband said.
Yep. So as you can see, this is getting worse. The level 6, stage 6 is loss of self.
Yep.
Now you are you looking back at everything that's happened. Like, how did I even get here? And who am I? You know what I'm saying? Because you can't even identify yourself because everything that you identify with at this point is that person's idea of who you are.
Who you think you are, right?
Yeah. So, they've broken you all the way down to now, the last final level, the 7th level, is addiction. We talked about this a little bit before the show, and I was surprised by this one. The article says you get addicted to the highs and the lows. Your body is a constant cortisol high, which is stress, the cortisol, and craves dopamine. That's the pleasure hormone.
Right.
And this creates a cycle of dependency that feels a lot like drug addiction, people.
Yep.
Your relationship is a drug addiction.
Crackhead love.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So it's a trauma bond, but these are the levels, and I know some of you all are listening to this right now, and sadly, you're checking off a list.
Yep. Literally, in my head, I was like, "Yep, that happens. That happens. That happens." Flash it back, yep. I remember that.
And actually, the addiction becomes your normalcy, right? Yeah. Like you feel like the addiction is normal. Like that's
right.
It's supposed to be like this. Like I'm supposed to be this and this. So. Man, I could go back years and hit those, man. That sounds crazy.
I have a journal that I burned not too long ago, that when I was married and all this stuff I was saying to myself, I was like, who is this girl? Like, it was horrible. The advice I was giving myself, telling myself, like trying to convince myself it's going to be okay, and this is what marriage is, and auntie them went through this, and you know, it's like, no ma'am.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
I think what Sharonda said earlier was a really big part of it, because I ain't gonna lie to you. We talk about this all the time when people say, what happened to the marriages and relationships that grandma and papa them used to have? Well, grandma and papa them was lying.
Yeah.
And it was bunch of trauma, it was a bunch of jacked up stuff that went on, and granny
we didn't know about.
A bunch of terrible stuff.
A whole nother family.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to know. We weren't in grown folks' conversations back then. You stay away.
And they covered it up really well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't really find out any of this stuff generally till you hit the funeral. Papa died, and then you got this other people coming. You like, who them other people on that front row? You don't even know them.
Right.
Or
that's your cousin.
Them drunk aunties.
That's your brother.
Give auntie a little bit too much Stella, she'll tell you everything.
Right. And you know, y'all, I will say, and I know this is hopefully still on topic, that's why it's very important as a culture that we learn how to break some of this generational stuff up. Man, some of this stuff has caused issues throughout the years. Some of us dealing with some stuff that we didn't even know about, you know, that we didn't even know occurred. And so I understand why it's done, because first of all, we don't want the perception that the family doesn't have it together.
Right. Right.
We're not going to expose the abusive or the molesting family. We don't want people in our business. And I'm not saying you have to tell the world your story, but we have to be transparent with our people. We have to be transparent. We have to have uncomfortable conversations, because we're going to continue to birth and continue to have generations of children that they're functioning in a certain way. They don't even know why they're functioning. And that's because something that was rooted throughout the generations, 2-3 generations before. I'm a strong, firm believer in generational cycles. And if you don't get to the point of somebody has to step up, somebody has to intercede, somebody has to break that thing down, then we're going to have a continuation.
Learned behavior. You know what? Some of us just learned how to be this or that, whatever it may be. You know what our culture is filled with? It's filled with promoting drama and promoting crazy and promoting all of that. Some of it is just learned behavior that we actually, because of who we are, we made it kind of cool.
Yeah.
We made like pimping and various things. We made it cool in our society, like in our culture. And it's just what we passed down from year after year, from century to century. And if we don't break that learned behavior, man, it'll continue to roll, and we'll continue to see the same issues. But I think nowadays, a lot of us who come up in the late 70s, the 80s, that era, like, we're recognizing some of this stuff. And man, we don't want our kids on that track. Like, we want our kids to be different. You get what I'm saying? Like, we want them to display different. And I think that's the dope part. So shout out to everybody out there, man, that's actually breaking those curses, man, and doing the hard work, getting your hands dirty and checking your own self sometimes, because sometimes we're our own enemies sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we hold on to stuff, we hold on to ideas, and when something new comes in, we instantly call it whack. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is that? You can't do that. But I mean, shoot, man, being healed looks way better. You hear different. You feel different, you love different, you treat different, you move different, you walk with a different confidence when you're in that space. And I think we have to make that very, very, very attractive in order for it to change. If we don't, what looks attractive is still going to get the press.
Yep.
The Daytons, the rims, that's still going to be the attraction because it's glossy. But we have to go back, man, and make sure we see healing looks great on you, man. A sound mind, thinking clear, man, that looks great. That looks great. I love it when I see it. So,
right.
Woo, man, y'all just said some amazing stuff. I mean, ain't nothing there for me to say about that part. Y'all just said everything. I'm just
you got something to say. You got something to say.
Hey, I'm just gonna go to my little list over here, and we're gonna look at some signs that you're in a trauma bond with someone. And this little list is very interesting. It's very interesting. The top one is funny because it says a pattern of non-performance. The person constantly promises you things and constantly lets you down. Ooh, I think a lot of us have been in those situations, whether it be a friendship or whether it be a relationship.
In it daily. At work.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was looking at. I was like, some of these things seem so basic, but it's become a norm for us, and we go through these traumas and we don't realize them because we're not calling them what they are.
Right.
Because we don't know it.
Right. So yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I was talking to I have an accountability partner, and when we were talking about this, and she said some people, when you're dealing with people, you have to think, are they being malicious or are they just working with the tools that they have?
That's good. That's a good point.
So, are they really being malicious or are they working with the tools that they have? So we are expecting some people to work with hammers and they got Allen wrenches. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, and that's the thing what we're talking about. You have to understand, like, some people don't know that they don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why I think we have to have these type of conversations early. I'm talking about with teenagers and middle school people, because what's going to happen, they're going to get our age and they just not figuring out. We just not
right. That's the sad part. You don't miss 30 years of your life and you're just now figuring it out. It's like, man, sad case.
Yeah, especially at this point in our lives, we've probably been through many situations that have scarred us, so that when you actually get with the right person or in a relationship with them, you can't even function correctly in a relationship because you have all this baggage that you had from before.
Right.
Yeah.
Now
go ahead. No, I'm just saying it's gonna be very hard for guarded people to get together. You have so many people who are guarded, and I'm gonna say, got a little bit myself. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm not to a certain extent, but it's some good people who are guarded. But guess what? The guarded people will never get together because they won't even allow their walls to be broken down. They don't allow those boundaries to be, because it's amazing to me how we say what we want, but we talk ourselves out of not getting that because we don't think we'll receive it.
Right. Don't feel worthy of it, right?
You don't think you're worthy of it. I was just talking, shout out to my line sister Pearl, Pinnacle of Purpose, therapy. And we were just talking about this the other day, just how that, some people will talk ourselves out of something. Yeah. Because we don't think we'll get it. Getting darn well you want a husband. But you talked yourself out. There's nothing wrong with being single. Let me start there because that's a totally different topic. You know what I mean? But if your desire is to be married, right.
Yes, Lord, on the single. Hey, can you give me pound on that? Just and bam, there you go.
Ain't nothing wrong with being single. But if your desire is to get married, don't talk yourself out of a husband just because you don't think you'll get one.
Right.
And I'm big on what I want wants me. I speak that into my life every single day. Because even though, she is savage and she do this, we all know, if you really be listening to the Daisy J show, the end all be all is a husband at the end of the day. But I'm not going to shy away from the fact that I'm dating everybody and I'm going to date everybody because it's a process of elimination.
It is.
You can't, for real, because it's like, okay, you expect me, this one dude, okay, he's great at dates, but he's not good at, dad stuff. Well, I'm not going to fully give my time to you because
you're not good at dad stuff.
Hello. So everybody's not going to have everything you want. But I would never talk myself out of the greatness of somebody or being with somebody dope because I'm having issues with self. Nope. Everything I write down in my manifestation book, if I see it, okay, this is what I want. Okay, this is what I need. But I constantly tell myself everything that I want wants me so that I can attract this good energy. I ain't talking Daisy J out of nothing. Come on.
Right.
Come on, millionaire.
Sometimes you get with people, man, and it's a lot of work breaking down all of their, because they're not working on themselves.
Yep.
Like, and it's a lot of work. Now, if you one of them people who done been through 5, 10, 12, 13 relationships and they all was bad, I mean, you ain't got no energy for the next person. You know what I'm saying?
You.
So it's like you smile wrong, and it's like I'll let you play them.
You're the problem.
Right.
No.
Like, you're the problem. But in a lot of cases, man, yeah, you just get burnt out on seeing people not work on themselves. And so that's why I say, man, like, we have to make healing attractive again.
Yeah.
Not just saying it, but actually living it. I speak healed, I talk healed, I walk healed. And you can tell it's just a fruit that comes off the tree. I know the difference between a peach and an apple, you know what I mean? And that would save us a lot of time in our dating lives, man. Because man, sometimes you run into people, somebody, man. I don't want to say
with yourself though. Like, if you ain't gonna put up with you, then why you expect somebody else to?
Exactly. And then when you approach them in a weird, and when you approach them if you used to being talked to like a champ, or as we got it into a king. When somebody comes along and talks to you any kind of other way, you ain't feeling that. It's like, yo, like, yeah, you off, and you can know it from the conversation off top. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say, if you know what you're accustomed to know yourself is very, very, very genuine. C.S. Lewis, if you guys, one of his greatest quotes is God's greatest thing to us is actually giving us the ability to be ourselves. Mm-hmm. If you can't be yourself and operate how God designed you to operate, you're always gonna have issues. And I think you got to know yourself. It'll save you a ton of time. It'll tell you off the top, I ain't accepting that. Right. Either you coming up, or I like you. I mean, we got pretty teeth and all, but look here, girl. We ain't trying to form no bonds and create no crazy babies. We ain't trying to do that no more.
No banana cream pie.
No. What did you say? Banana cream pie?
Yeah, it's a joke by Cat Williams. He said, you up here messing with, you getting it in, and she said banana cream pie, but it was so good you weren't paying attention. Then you got her pregnant. Now your baby walking around, saying banana cream pie. And you like, dang, if I would have paid attention in that moment, we wouldn't have banana cream pie.
Right.
Shout out to Cat Williams. Yeah.
That's my boy too. I gotta go find that.
And the next sign on the list is you feel that you don't even like them or trust the person anymore, but you can't leave.
Wow.
Yeah, that's still self-worth.
Yeah. I mean, Sharonda's looking confused, but I'm telling you, I know some people right now that fall in that category.
Did you say you can't trust the person?
Yeah, you feel like you don't even like them. You can't trust them, but you don't want to leave.
I know somebody in a relationship like that.
That's codependency, right?
Right.
That's codependency.
Mm-hmm. She's so smart, so pretty. Like, dudes try to talk to her all the time. But she's stuck on her baby daddy. Hey, girl. And he does the most. He does the most. And the stuff that he does, it's like, girl. I mean, he done had like 3-4 kids on her.
Can I be honest with this, though? Like, and I hope I don't get a ton. A lot of pretty girls have bad self-esteem.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I know a bunch
I don't know how many people gonna hate me for that comment, but
no, that's real.
That's a fact.
I know girls who aren't as attractive facially have way more confidence and way more gumption about themselves than a lot of pretty females. So
I'll tell you, a lot of chicks that get like their bodies done and stuff, and then they keep going and do it, and they keep going and do it. They're not satisfied with themselves.
Oh yeah,
mentally.
Sure.
You know, keep doing it. And then it's like, girl, you look good, but it's not enough. You gotta go back and get something else done.
Right.
Definitely.
Confidence is a great thing, man.
Hello, I love mine. Mine.
That's why some of them ugly chicks, the ugly
Oh,
chicks
yeah.
I'm talking about, that have confidence, they ain't got nothing to lose.
Right.
Really?
They shot, they ain't got nothing to lose. They don't feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like pretty girls have a standard and they don't want to get told no. I'm serious. Like they don't want to get told no, and they might not hear no a lot. So when they get told no, it does something to them. If you got an ugly chick or ugly dude or somebody who's not as, you know what I'm saying, attractive, like they don't have those qualms, because they know if they get told no, they've been told no before. So you know,
that's not true. Shut up.
I'll say this. When you got confidence, you can make the person with you look good. Woo. It's just
that is.
I mean,
Colin. That's why he keeps
listen.
calling.
That I think that's why you see a lot of ugly dudes with pretty girls. A lot of handsome dudes with so-called, because you already know you got swagger, you good, and anything next to you, if you taking care of it, gonna look good. And that could be a slippery slope too. But overall, man, like, yeah, beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
You can tell y'all family. Next. Right.
Next.
Okay.
As I said, okay.
But you know, one thing that Sharonda pointed out, I think it's been pointed out a couple of times, and I think Daisy said it too, is your friends and family have advised you against the relationship, but you stay. Because they see the madness, they see the foolery right in front of them, usually at family functions and stuff. They see how this person gets down, they see how this person talks to you, how they treat you, and you don't even see it. So when they approach you with it, you get mad and upset with them because they told you about it. But
no, he do you, baby.
But you know what, Kim, you do see it. You just don't want nobody else to tell you.
Yeah.
So
and you don't want to leave it neither.
And you don't want to leave it. So if y'all, and this is why, you know, I'm learning this in my age. Sometimes you just gotta leave stuff alone. And let folks figure stuff out for themselves. People know when they ain't treated right. People know when they're not being handled correctly. And so some people will stay in a relationship just because my auntie said I don't need to be there, because I don't want my auntie to be right. We know she's right, but we don't want her to know that she's right.
That is very
I'm gonna stay and be miserable because I don't want her to be proven wrong. I mean, proven correct. You know what I'm saying?
Or you break up with the good dude because everybody like him. Oh, y'all like him? I'm breaking up with him.
I've never heard of that one.
I'm breaking up. I'm so guilty of that, man. Let my mama like a dude.
Come on, talk. I need to hear that one. Come on now.
College.
That's a trouble bond with family, right?
Yes, it is.
This is why I hate meeting girls' families. That's
wait, I'm gonna tell you. That's why I don't. This is why I don't. I'm not meeting your family unless me and you are very solid, you know, in what we got going on. Anyways, I learned my lesson a long time ago. I dated a dude, met his whole family. Whole time they knew he was married. I was at the family reunion, all that stuff, and so I don't even do your family. I don't trust your family. Period.
Now, Daisy.
Ma'am,
the counselor part of me. Are you taking that old baggage into a new relationship?
No.
Oh.
Have you healed from that?
Hold on.
I healed from it. I'm just saying I can admit that this situation happened to me.
But have we actually healed? I'm gonna tell you what.
Yeah.
You are against.
Well, they say if you talk about it, you're not healed completely from it yet.
Well,
I'm confronting it like, hey, this happened to me. But I choose not to meet, because another thing too is at my age you meet people with kids, and so that's a whole nother you know what I'm saying, because I got children, and so I'm very like strict on you ain't meeting my kids until I know, like,
I get that,
right,
you know what I'm saying. So I feel that same way, your family too, like, bruh, I just don't feel like I can trust the situation until I know what's going on with you. Like, I need to know you outside of them. So then when we get with them, it's like, oh, okay, this fits. But no, I'm guilty of breaking up with dudes because my mama liked them. Like she thought, oh, he's so sweet, good Christian boyfriend. Now let me go get this thug because.
Oh yeah, so that's where the term "good guys finish last" comes from. Huh?
Comes from Daisy J. Yep.
I'll tell you, I've been on the journey. Like I've been called boring by women who love to do lots of stuff. And I'm like, I ain't doing that. And I did that when I was 19, 18, 16 years old. It's not exciting to me anymore. You get what I'm saying? So like I can relate totally to that for sure.
Now they owe men, but yeah. Hey, 45 and up. Yeah.
Wow.
45 and up. Well,
they want to sit at the house. They don't want to be all in the streets.
Low iron.
You know,
find your girl with low iron.
Yeah, got good credit scores and, you know.
Find your girl with low iron. She always
401ks. I mean, come on.
Right. Sharonda, what were you about to say? Because you had this look on your face. I want to hear.
I just, I don't know. I think it was something about what Daisy was talking about. But in reality, man, we subconsciously take our old issues into new relationships and we don't even know it.
Yeah.
We're not even open to love because we are so guarded against what could happen.
Yep.
Against the possibilities of what could happen. And so I really believe, and somebody might shoot me based on this, man, if you're not emotionally stable, if you're not mentally ready, you don't need to be in nobody's relationship.
No.
You got to sit down and you got to take time with yourself and you have to be comfortable with being single. Now, I'm single, I like look, companionship.
Yeah.
Whatever. But if you're not in a state to really, really know yourself, know your self-worth, know what you will and will not put up with, you really need to kind of be single. And that's the problem. People making emotional decisions when that emotional health ain't right. So I'm going to bring all my stuff into you and expect you to heal me and expect you to deal with me. I'm not saying you have to be perfect, but I think what has happened, some of us have been so accustomed in being in relationships that we feel less than if we're not in a relationship.
A lot of people are like that.
You waiting on somebody to validate you. You're waiting on somebody to upgrade you, to make you better. You will be a better person if you just take the time, heal, be vulnerable, and realize that everybody got stuff. Everybody got it. So that's what I was saying, and like I said, I will not sit here and act like I am the guru of love, the guru of mental health. But what I do know is, man, you have to get some self-worth, some self-assessment things going, and know that everybody can't handle that, and you can't share that with everybody.
No,
I agree.
With you.
So stop trying to fix it. I'm not a fixer. Stop trying to get me to fix you. I am not a fixer. So that's what I found. Okay, the dude I was engaged to this year, he needed somebody to fix him, and we was not doing it. Like we.
So how much do you invest in another person? Like, well, if we all come with our specific baggage, so to speak,
it's one thing
we all do.
This is
where do you draw the line on this is too much? This is okay. I can deal with this. Where do you draw the line at? Because if we're going to meet people, we're going to engage with people. We're obviously going to run into people with some type of issue, right?
True.
Where do you draw the line at?
Like Sharonda said, nobody is perfect, because I'm not looking for perfect, because I am imperfectly perfect. I know that, yes, I've been married before. I have children. You know what I'm saying? I got my little stuff or whatever. Right. But I'm not taking care of you. I'm not taking care of you. Right. You're not quitting your job so that I can take care of you. That's where I draw the line at, is the finances of the situation. Right. Ooh, now, do I feel like we're a team, and when we get married, we do things together? Yes. But as your girlfriend living in a whole nother state, you want to quit your job and you want me to help you pay bills? Like, you came up with that on your own? Like you, that's what you. I'm confused. Yeah, when I draw the line at finances, when you want me to foot the bill for you, because don't get it twisted. I can't tell you, I spends money on my dudes. Okay, I have no problem taking you on dates. I have no problem gifting you and doing for you. Ken, I have no problem. You know what I'm saying?
I see his face.
Because
Okay.
I'm like, Ken, don't come for me because you've heard horror stories. Like I've dished out some nice little guap. But again, I am not here to take care of you so that you can go live your dream at 40-some years old. Like that's where I draw the line. No rappers, no up and coming rappers. No, I'll date Lil Wayne, but he already got the money. He done been through like you know what I'm saying? Like, but you no rappers, no I'm thinking about doing this, entrepreneurs, like nah, I need you to be with it, right? Because I'm not going backwards. I'm not doing struggle.
We ain't doing struggle. It's 2020. It's 20. What we in 2021?
2021. No struggler. I will be.
There's too many ways to make money out here. You can't be broke. You cannot. It's ain't nothing popping by being broke.
And what do you say to the guy though?
What do you say to the guy though, who feels like that's what a woman wants from him? Because that's the genuine concept, right? Like, man, come take care of me, and then regardless, because some guys look at being broke as a trauma bomb.
Yeah, it is, but not from Daisy J. Daisy J is going to work. Daisy J, if I cannot work my 9 to 5, I will get in my car and Uber, ship it, whatever. I'm not a stranger to getting a job. I'll go work at Walmart, Target. I'm going to work because number one, I have children. They eat. Okay, they are getting bigger. They like food. They are expensive. They know what Starbucks is. They know what Amazon is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to make money for them off top. So I'm going to work. I've never asked a man to take care of me. If anybody did anything for me, it's because they wanted to, and vice versa. I ain't never been that chick. Now them chicks, I know them. They got the Cash App and they bios and stuff on their Facebook, and they want you to send them money so they can eat every day, and they sleeping on an air mattress. Not me.
No. Yeah, I can't do no air mattress, brother's back. Yeah, I can't. I need her. Yeah,
not me. It's a whole bed. Not me.
Go back to something right quick though, and I was thinking about this, and Daisy knows I come up with these weird ideas all the time. And
you better not be coming for me.
No, I talk about this to some people, and I mentioned this to my cousin and one of my other cousins, and he laughed at me. He said, "Yeah, you come up with some crazy stuff." But what Sharonda was talking about earlier is these people running around hurt people. And then they get into other relationships. We call that an emotional STD.
Yep.
You have an emotional STD, and you hopping from person to person, infecting these other people that you get in contact with, in relationships with. And that person's now they got it. So now they go into another relationship with that hurt that you passed on to them, and now you just got this whole form of people that's hurt. You know what I'm saying? And like they say, hurt people hurt people.
Right.
So you have this whole circle of that. So when you meet somebody, yes, they're gonna have some type of hurt, some type of baggage.
That's the dudes I'm running into. The ones that the girls done use them for their money, and they don't have to take care of this chick. So then they get with me, and it's scary because like, what? You got your own money? What? You want to do something for me? Yeah.
See, for some dudes, that'll make them feel less insecure, less worthy.
It does
because they don't have that anymore.
Yep.
I was told by my uncle, look, when I can't, he was like, son, it don't matter. If she make more money than me or I make more money than her, we both gonna spend it. So as long as we both making money, I don't even care. He's like, she could be making way more than me. I don't care. If we together, we both gonna spend it. And I grew up with that concept. So but naturally, man, just being a hard worker. Yeah, it is kind of weird when somebody does something for you, but again, that's part of coming out of that aspect of that, of not.
But that's easier to deal with.
Yeah, of course,
it's easier to deal with.
Exactly.
The latter. Dude, I can deal with.
Very true.
I got a question though, and this is one of the questions from the article. Can a trauma bond be fixed? I guess is the next question. You know what I'm saying?
I would say yeah. I would say yeah. Because we have history tells us it can.
I'm with Sharonda. Sharonda shaking her head no. And it's not the fact that it can't be, but it's highly unlikely that situation can be salvaged because there's so much damage there.
If they recognize it, though, it can be fixed.
But even if they recognize
and if they're both willing to actually
that's
look in the mirror and work on themselves. Yeah, it is very
I mean, it's unlikely, but
talking about a 1 in a 5 million chance.
That's going to happen. Give us the one. The odds are already stacked against us.
Exactly.
I'm with Ken, and I'm gonna say this, and y'all might not like what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it. That's the reason why people still in trauma bonds, because we think it's gonna get
they can fix it.
Okay, yeah. You think we're gonna fix it. Let me tell you something.
I agree.
I think a lot of us will be better off if we cut that mess off at the core. I'm not saying that you have to, I believe in grace and mercy. I believe because we're human, we're gonna make mistakes. Yeah. We have to allow people to be human. But at some point, you got to cut that mess off and be willing to say, I'm not staying, at this age, I'm not staying in with the intent of it getting better.
No potential.
Because at the end of the day, that's your character. That's who you are. You're going to need somebody greater than me to help you deal with your character.
Yeah.
So your character, that's who you are at the core.
Yeah.
You have some childhood trauma to get rid of that abusive mindset, that narcissistic mindset that I don't have the ability to do. So what I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna leave up out of there and let you fix yourself. And then let's move on. I think that's the reason why people remain in the trauma bond for so long, because we hope that it will get better, or we think it will get better. And I think when we stop allowing ourselves to be treated in that manner, then I think we'll be better off. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be the most popular thing, but I think a lot of us could have saved ourselves grief if we would have shut some stuff down early.
I agree.
And Regina asked a good question. Regina said, what if you are married?
Hey, accountability partner, that's my girl.
Well, I was just about to say, because some of our marriages are based off of our religion. And our religion tells us you don't get off the cross.
Yep.
You stay there because listen, look, listen. Let me get personal. Let me get personal for a second. I used to be a preacher. Okay. Ooh. And I was in something and did all of this for 13 years and was done dirty in a lot of instances. You get what I'm saying? But you holding on to your calling, what you believe God told you, and all of these different things, and you don't let them go, you're getting worse. Yeah. You don't let them go because your biblical teaching tells you, nah, homeboy, you can't leave. And what made me finally leave was when I realized she used that against me. She was using my loyalty against me. And when I realized that, I left everything. I said, I'm done. And I'll share this with you. My mom, and you can go back and check the story, the blood vow, 1987-88, the Evelyn Banks murder case. My mom had a chance to leave Texas back when I was a young boy, and she didn't leave because of how loyal she was to the situation. And that ultimately cost her and my little brother his life. And a lot of that stuff was ingrained and taught to us that you do not leave. Grandma taught her, don't leave. I don't care what you do. You don't leave. I don't care what's going on. You don't leave. Cry over it. Like do the most over it, but you can't leave. And yeah, it can be catastrophic if you don't really get a hold to it. But a lot of that is taught. And so when she says, what about if you're married? My first thought that came to my mind when Sharonda was talking is, I know a lot of people who are getting treated bad, but they ain't leaving because they were taught biblically, no, we don't let this go. So we're going to walk this out. We're going to stick it out. So there's a fine line in between that, because you're also dealing with people from a religious aspect. You're dealing with people from the streets. And if you know any of us, Black folk, we went to church. We've heard this. We know about this. We've been taught this. And it's a fine line to walk on that line and say, I'm just going to leave, especially when you've invested 15, 20, 25 years. You've been with Big Mama,
kids,
all this stuff. Yeah, man. Like, yeah. And you get linked into that and meshed up in that. And it's like, I ain't letting that go. And then you believe God ain't telling you to let it go.
Woo, that's the worst one.
Yeah, I think, certain things that's not negotiable in my book. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when you put your hands on people, there's no negotiating that. Now I'll tell you this: a lot of people will say that the mental abuse is worse than the physical abuse.
It is.
Right.
I don't. Like I said, I'm not gonna say one is more than the other because I ain't had either. So I don't have a dog in the fight. But what I will say is I know physical, it is non-negotiable. Now the mental piece of it is difficult for some people because they can't recognize it.
Right.
If somebody punches you in your face, that's right there.
Right.
Like that's right in front of you. Ain't no denying that. A black eye, you can't deny that. Right. So I think the difficult part is, not just the physical, but that mental abuse, which, most people say is worse, but it's hard to recognize it because it's covered up in all this trauma bond stuff that, deceived you into thinking that this person really loves you and you really need this person when you're in a terrible situation and you need to get out.
Right. That's why the mental is hard, because little things can trigger you, you know what I mean, about the person. And like we said earlier, you carry that into other relationships because they might say something the same way that person said it and not even mean it like they did. But because you've been in this mentally abusive relationship, it makes you get guarded and you like, I don't want to be with you or around you or whatever.
Yeah, that's a trigger.
Yeah, but I'm gonna say though, Benji, my grandma raised me to leave. My mama left, my granny left. We not around these parts. We're not staying in nothing that's going to hurt us, harm us. Now we got plans. We're not just bouncing. Cause I done left the whole house of furniture, fully furnished house, clothes.
I left the whole
grabbed what I could. You know what I'm saying?
I left the
to
whole
start over new. That's why I was like, that girl. I don't recognize that girl.
Right.
I don't recognize who she was when I was reading. That's why I burnt the book. I don't know who that girl is. I don't see her. I don't know her.
Regina
asked
another good question too. She said, "Do you see the signs before marriage? Yeah, push through because you have to have that person." I think
back in the day, yeah.
No, I really think when people are dating people, they see certain things, but they just choose to overlook them because they are so attracted to that person.
No, thank you.
Or they just want that person so badly that they're willing to overlook those things that are small at the beginning, but those small things become big things over that time, over the time that they're with each other. But again, you go back to what we talked about earlier is at that point, you've been together 5-10 years. Now you feel like you can't leave because of all this time you invested.
Right.
That's why marriage counseling, pre-marriage counseling is important because they gonna bring out the stuff that you're not trying to hear or you don't want to know about him, because like Sharonda said, he got that good, so you want to stick with him because I don't know nobody else that can give me that good. And it's like, girl, if you only, another thing too, I'm gonna say too, that goes back to what Sharonda said, because I can relate to this. Okay. I'm getting out there. Hold on. Because when I was in my early 20s, I didn't know myself sexually. So anything I did was for my partner. So that played a part in me being with certain people for a long time because I didn't know me. Now here it is, I've been through life a little bit, divorce, 2 kids, all that. I know exactly what I want. That's why it's harder for you to get to me in that way, because I know what I want and I know what I need. And certain people, it's like the things they say, they talk their way out of it.
Right.
So I told, like what she was saying, I was like, I get it. I totally get it.
Right.
Because Daisy J knows what she wants now. I know what
Right.
I need. I know what's going to make me better. I know what's not going to. You can't use me in that way. That's one thing you can't use him. Oh, he got that good girl. You know how many other ones got that too? Like, anyway.
That
like,
gratification.
That's not,
huh?
Yeah, like, that's not.
We're in the era of instant gratification. So
microwave relationships, man.
If it's instant and can get it, trust me. And it's better than the next. Oh yeah.
And I get told this by my little friend I'm dating all the time. He's like, you just different. You different. And I just laugh because it's like, if you only knew, you know, the stuff
Go
that
back a couple years.
Man. But I get it.
Yeah. Well, getting out of a trauma bond is one of those things that you know, followed up next, you know, we say can it be fixed? Which, you know, you're saying maybe not, but in my estimation, I'm leaning toward probably not. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so much damage, and the article says it may be difficult, maybe even impossible. But the next follow-up question is, how do you get out of a trauma bond? So that is there was a simple answer to this. Now we can talk about it. There's a simple answer to this. You're gonna have to see a licensed therapist, somebody that's gonna have to help you unpack that baggage to get out of that trauma bond, because you can't do it on your own.
It was my brother for me. I didn't want to leave Texas. And my brother said, nah, you leave. Get out of here. And it was actually bad for him. When we talk about this, it was actually bad for him because not only was I leaving, he lost my mom, he lost my brother. He felt like he lost a lot.
Yeah.
But that sacrifice of him just, like, nah, you're not staying here, man. And I want to stay. I ain't going. I want to stay here, man, you know. And he forced me. So I think ultimately, to get out of one, you have to have somebody around you, from my experience, that ain't gonna fluff with you. That ain't gonna be that you respect, though.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
That you respect, that you know has your back, that you know is like, bro. And I don't care who it is. It could be a mentor, it could be your grandmama, whoever it is, whatever it is. That person, you have to be fortunate enough in this life, coming up, how we came up, how I came up, to have somebody around you that is going to see through all the BS and say, look, man, this is a great opportunity for you, man. I think you should take it. And I'll share this with you. When I left March 12th, 1997. I left Texas, right? My cousin, I'll never forget this, man. He was like, man, I wish I could go. I wish I could go. I remember having this conversation with him right down there in South Dallas. And he was killed a couple months later.
Wow.
And knowing that my brother looked out for me like that made me realize, man, how much you need somebody in your corner. Sharonda's a licensed therapist, man. I would love to hear the stories of the kids that she counsels, and they go on to be successful and come back and thank Miss Sharonda for believing in them, having faith in them, and stuff like that. That goes a long way, man. And I tell you that I can be honest today. I wouldn't be here today if my brother didn't say get on it, because I would have stayed. I know I would have stayed. I know I would.
Wow. Yeah, you're gonna have to write that book, bro. You're gonna have to write that book.
Yeah, because
you know, even if it's not a direct story, you know, you can write something similar, you know what I'm saying?
Preacher stuff took me out. I was like, preacher. Okay.
Yeah, he's got an interesting story.
I've been fighting that for a long time, man.
When he started talking and he was like, I was like, okay, yeah, he's a preacher.
I can't hide it. No matter how much I want to try it, I can't hide it. I'm like, forget it, man. Just be yourself.
Right. Exactly.
So, Sharonda, what do you have to say about this? And how do you suggest somebody get out of a trauma bond?
Man, you have to be comfortable with walking away, and you have to not feel as if you did anything wrong. when I say did anything wrong, like we all have stuff in relationships.
Yeah.
But you were the victim in this. You cannot blame yourself. I'm telling you, man, blame and shame will set you back so far. So you can't just constantly blame yourself. Man, I stayed too long. I stayed this. You got to be willing to walk away. And you have to, like Benji said, you have to have an accountability partner.
Yep.
And you have to be willing to cut off the communication. Some of us just need some communication cut off. That's the only way we can function.
True.
Yeah.
You know, I see it, you know, with my students, you know, like they break up, you know, somebody get a boyfriend tomorrow and they post a new boyfriend or whatever, So I'm like, why you still following them on IG? Just
block them.
You know, but I'm saying that as a 39-year-old to a 16-year-old, to me, it's simple. Just cut them off.
Right.
And you know, the thing about it is you have to be willing to cut them off. You have to, and I, you know, struggle with that even, you know, as well. But you have to be willing to cut it off. Because I'm going to tell you, you're just going to replay a cycle. You're just going to dig up. You're just going to put more salt on the wound. Yeah. So at what point do you heal? Some people are not strong enough, you know, just to walk away. You know what I mean? Some people are not strong enough. Sometimes you have to have somebody to help you through that process to walk away. And so that's what I'm saying. Some of us have to cut folk off in order to grow. Right. It's just like I deal with flowers. I'm about to deal with some flowers. As soon as we get off this call, I got to go through it and I got to prune all of the bad stuff to make sure the good stuff continues to grow. So you got to be willing to be pruned. You have to be willing to be cut. You have to be willing to be chopped down in order to grow. You know, sometimes what Fantasia say, you got to be willing to lose to win.
Yep.
And that's my thing. So yeah, that's just my thought.
That'll preach.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know, like Sharonda said, you know, I say all the time, sometimes you just got to be willing to put people out on the side of the road on your life's journey. They just need to get out. They can't go no further.
And you know what, Ken? It's okay because everybody that's an assignment for us, we wasn't meant to be with them no ways. Some people just came in, did what they needed to do. They filled the void. We got in with them emotionally. 5 years later, we dealing with an assignment.
Yeah.
Right.
That we shouldn't even been tied with in the first place. They just came in to show us how to be a better person, how to communicate. We fell in love with them because they brought us something new.
Right.
We're supposed to follow in love with our assignment.
New is always intriguing.
Yeah, it's new, especially if you coming out of mess. So anything new,
right.
You blind. So Captain Saban came in, and Captain Saban was saving everybody.
That took us back to the E40 days.
Captain Saban came in. That boy got superpowers.
Yeah,
he been saving you, Daisy, everybody on this call. He been saving.
Yep.
All right, y'all.
I ain't did nothing.
Well, I think we've done a great job of giving people some information and some advice on how they can kind of deal with stuff. So before we close out, you know, when we close out, we give everybody an opportunity to let you know how to find them on social media, to have a closing word. So we're going to do that at this time. Sharonda, talk to the people before you get up out of here and let them know where to find you. Let them know what you're doing, what kind of businesses you got.
All right. To find me, I'm going to say this last piece on the trauma. Then I'm going to go, man, we have to deal with our childhood trauma. That's the reason why a lot of us are the way we are, because we are not dealing with our childhood trauma. And it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to say my family is kind of messed up. It's okay to say that, but let's not compare dysfunction with our personality. Let's not put the two together. I am the way I am. This is just the way I am. Now, does it make it right? You know what I mean? So that's just my little piece. Some of us just have to deal with some childhood trauma, and that's the reason why we function the way we're functioning, because we haven't dealt with that. So that's my end as it relates to mental health. But you can follow me. I just got a regular IG, Shara Will, and Sharonda Williams on Facebook. I also have a floral business. Follow me, BUSYBRE Florals on IG. So, you know, I love the kids, but I love the flowers as well. So that's me. That's what I do.
I was gonna ask that. Brother
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
a dope concept though. You growing both. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
growing bro.
Kids and the
Yeah,
flowers. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
All right, Flower. Go on, Flower. Go on, Flower.
All right, talk to us, Benji.
What's going on, man? Well, first off, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you guys for having me on and being able to get on and dialogue with y'all. You can find me, of course, under my name, Benji Banks on Facebook. You can find my business page on IG, BRB4701. And what you'll see a lot of my wine on there. You can also find my wine in each of my links on my Facebook, also on my IG. Man, I'm kind of in everything, man. I do meal prep for people out here. I do brunches out here, man. Sell wine. Work for a top mortgage company in Cali. All of that, man. I'm just.
Tell people where out here is.
I mean, okay. Well, I'm out. Currently, I'm out in the Inland Empire, which is pretty vast. So it's about an hour, 15 minutes from actually LA. About 45 minutes to an hour from San Diego. So not too far, man. Kim was actually just out here not too long ago kicking it with your boy. So next time I guess I got to come to Texas now and show up and do some shenanigans out there. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, you can find me on there. Find me on Facebook. I'm usually on there clowning, but on my IG, it's all business. I'm actually about to start a really aggressive marketing campaign for my IG, looking to add like 1,000 followers per month, stuff like that. So I'm gonna start just working business, man. Trying to be an entrepreneur on the side. Working for a huge company is great, man. But man, the liberation of actually having your own stuff on the side is actually pretty dope, man. So I'm leaning towards that direction. But yeah, Sharonda, I'm gonna have to buy some flowers or something from you, girl. You know, that always work. That always work with wine. And I have a great selection out in my store. I hope you guys will go check it out. Ken has checked it out before. I hope you guys go check it out. And I usually send out samples for you guys to try and check me out. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it. If you love wine, I got you back. I got you.
Oh, you got to tell them about your shirt too. The Focus Women.
What? I see. I'm into all kind of stuff.
Yeah,
they say I need They say I need a freaking assistant, man. I be like, man. But this year I have been trying to delegate. But my own shirts, man. I can get you any shirt. Basically, I have a selection of tons of shirts, man. And this is Focus Women Taste Better. Pretty soon we're going to be running the Focus Women campaign, basically looking for women, man, who are actually focused on their goals, taking care of their business. We want to interview them and put them out there, you know what I mean, and make that more attractive than than the garden tools on IG. We'll just say it like that. We want to make career women more attractive than the other magnets. So that's what we focus. So we're gonna do a Focus Women campaign, and we're gonna make it happen. So, but I got a lot of stuff going on, man. I'd be talking all day if I talked about all the stuff I'm trying to put together.
Yeah. Daisy J. Hold on. Let me. Daisy J.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Daisy J, the original quarantine bae. Okay, I have a ton of things to go over. So first of all, the lashes, got my lash line going, slowly picking up. I appreciate everybody who's been buying, purchasing, sending referrals for lashes and makeup. Appreciate you guys a lot. You can go to the Daisy J Collection IG page if you're interested. I have my main 3. Tonight I have on the 25s, which is the biggest lash that I carry. Also, I dropped an episode a couple of days ago of Cocktails with the Cousins. You can catch that on Spotify. That's on my Daisy J page as well, the Daisy J Show. You can follow me on Spotify, Instagram, and Facebook. I want to say that this has been a dope experience being on the Fiyah session. This is our season finale, but this is also my last episode. Your girl is starting her internet radio career soon, so I just want to thank Ken for allowing me to come on for these 2 seasons and do my thing and grow and glow. So y'all check out your girl. Go follow the Daisy J Show currently, and once we get the internet radio thing set up, we'll let y'all know and keep y'all buzzed. Right. Daisy J over and out.
All
All right, people. As Daisy says, it's season finale, and we're gonna be sorry to see Daisy J go. Y'all already know. Y'all can catch me, Big Ken's Comedy on IG, Big Ken's Comedy on Twitter, Big Ken's Comedy on Facebook. I got You See It Live on IG. You See It Live coming back on Facebook. We got KUTC Live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live. You can also catch it on You See It Productions on YouTube. The You See It Productions page on YouTube actually has all the shows on there. So if you want to see those shows at any point in time, they're all on the You See It Production page. So today has been an amazing episode. It was I think a heavy topic, but I think we did a great job of trying to cover it and take different angles of and viewpoints of how to deal with trauma bonds. And people, don't take it lightly. Trauma bonds are serious, and if you feel like you're in one and you need help, go get the help that you need. And if your friends are not enough, sometimes you might need to go see a licensed specialist, a licensed therapist, get some real help, because this stuff can, run you into the ground, literally to your death. So, you want to take it, you don't want to take it lightly.
No,
you want to take it seriously. So
I agree.
Go ahead, Sarana.
Can I say one thing? I just want to, first of all, thank you for having me. When I got the text, I was like, now, Ken, I'm going to be out work. I don't want to talk about nothing counseling related. I got to take me a break. You know what I'm saying? But I'm glad that I took the offer. I want to give a special shout out to my family, to my line sisters, my sorority sisters, my church family, like my accountability part, everybody that tuned in. I was texting. I was like, man, I'm so nervous or whatever. So I thank you all. To my guy friends who I was able to bounce ideas off and just get their perspective so I wouldn't have a biased view about tonight. They want to make sure I wasn't triggered by any of the conversation. So shout out, you know who you are. So I appreciate y'all and I thank you all, and that's it. Enjoy your Friday.
All
right, y'all. So y'all already know we'll be back next season, probably in August. So we won't have Daisy J. We appreciate her very much for being with me these past couple of seasons. She been riding with your boy. She listens to all the craziness, all the madness, and we will continue to support her in her ventures, and we will continue to talk about her adventures, and we will continue to have her on from time to time when her schedule permits, because you know how we do, we family.
Right.
So y'all be careful. Y'all be safe out there on this weekend. If you're going to get into the shenanigans, just make sure you stay safe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Make sure you keep the wrapper on the cookie. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna get into that, but y'all know already.
I'm staying in the house. I'm watching basketball tonight.
Y'all already know.
Right.
People say it's lit, but y'all already know it's fire. Fire Session Podcast. Peace.